What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Lions Den podcast. We're in a new setup. This is the old podcast setup, but this is more directed towards a solo person because I have no friends. It's like I just gonna be me moving forward. So I mean, maybe we'll have like guests on in the future, but it's gonna be like this me talking, trying to help inspire and help, and just maybe on this channel I'll post whatever I want, but today is pretty important. I recently had a conversation with a friend that I kind of grew up with. We kind of was like my only Christian friend here in Maryland. He doesn't live here anymore, but he reached out because he saw that I was kind of going through it. And one of the things that he kind of said to me that really stuck. Usually things don't stick with me. Usually I like let things go in one ear and out the other. Especially when people are trying to help me for some odd reason. But anyways, like one thing he said was money, or what did he said money doesn't solve, or money only solves money problems. So I got inspiration because I came over here. I was literally on the way over here as he talked to me about that and like this, fulfillment and a bunch of things in life. And I asked him how it's been since he's moved out of Maryland. And I've been thinking about moving out of Maryland lately and just a bunch of other stuff. But one of the things we kind of talked about was the whole concept of money and how like people chase money and, try and get fulfillment from money. And I myself, I feel like at first I really was heavily chasing money when it started coming in because it came out of nowhere for me and like social media, and then all the sponsors offering money, like it was good money, right? And for me as someone who was young and had no money and was trying to escape the whole 9 to 5, I saw that as like a chance to kind of find my escape to do something that I love and to make a living from it. And obviously being young, like I bought like a car. The first thing I did was buy a car, like majority of people do when they're young and they first start to get money. And I like was really excited. And obviously I was into cars heavy, so then I went from that to a supercharged a 5.0 to a supercharged 5.0 to a GT500 to a Audi R8, which I sold, and then now I have the M5 and the Maybach. I actually had 4 cars at one point. I sold 2 of them. I sold the Shelby, but it's still in the family, so I can kind of use it whenever. And then I sold the Supra. And then I also had a few watches, Rolexes, and I sold all of them. So I started kind of selling my possessions because I started getting to a point where the money was not, when you get money and you buy things. And I could say this, bro, because I've had no money and then I've had, a good amount of money. And you get a little bit of fulfillment at first, but that shit wears off quick, bro. I'm telling you. Like, and I'm a big car guy. And when I first bought like my R8, dude, I was like ecstatic. It was like the best thing ever. It was like my personality was the car, which is a terrible thing to do. But like, bro, it was like probably a month or 2 months, and then I found myself not even like driving it every day. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna take the daily today, like, cause it was just more comfortable. And I'm like, what was the reason for me spending this money on this car if I'm not even gonna use it? So that's why I sold the R8. And then I ended up going back to my GT500, which is a way cheaper car, like a lot cheaper of a car compared to the R8. And I was like more satisfied almost in the Shelby, just because it was like more sentimental to me. I was more connected to the car. It wasn't about the money; it was about the experience that I had. Because that was the first car that I actually bought, like on my own. That like I put a lot of money into, and like that was like my first like car when I was like, oh, I made it. So I had sentimental value to that car. But this fulfillment you get that you think you'll get when you attain something in life, like, oh, once I get my dream house or my dream car or this amount of money in my bank account, then I'll be less stressed. I'll feel like I'm freed. That's not the case whatsoever, bro. And I can tell you that. I'm not gonna tell you the specifics of like my, I guess, financial situation because there's no point. But trust me when I tell you, bro, if you're chasing after like money and hitting a certain number, that'll never be enough for you, because once you hit it, you're gonna want more, you're gonna want more, you're gonna want more. And one of the biggest tips I can give to you guys that I feel like I've learned, being as young as I am and getting through, I guess, the success that I've had at a young age, is to not let it get to your head, 2, to invest your money, and 3, to not let your spending habits directly be in line with the amount of money you make. So for me, for the longest time, so I was even getting cheap over gas. I would tweak. I think it was beginning of last year or middle of last year is when I finally started like, I stopped stressing over the gas I was spending. It was like when I went to fill up a tank of gas, I would fill up the whole tank. Because prior to that, when I had no money, every single time in my life, I like would only fill up my gas tank halfway because I was scared to spend more money. Or at work, I would steal my work's gas card and I would fill up my tank with the work gas card, bro, a few times. possibly, maybe that's not true, but yeah, I did. Anyways, and I kind of had that ingrained in my mentality of like being afraid to spend money, being extremely cheap whenever I could be, or like trying to use other people's money whenever I could. But I got a lot of people like once you start making more money, like keep that kind of cheap mindset because a lot of people once they start getting money, they're like insta, oh, I'm gonna buy this car, I'm gonna buy this bust down watch, I'm gonna buy. It's like they directly try and see, oh, I have more money now, so I can spend accordingly. When usually you should not do that. So like my recommendation is if your income goes up twice what you were making beforehand, let your spending habits only increase by about maybe 15, max 20%. So you want to get a little bit nicer of a car, yeah, but let's say if you're like for me, bro. Actually, I'm not even gonna say that. I was gonna get into way too specific stuff. But yeah, that's my advice. But when you start like when you let your spending habits get like that, or like when people think you get that stuff, bro, the satisfaction you get only lasts a short time, and then you're kind of left with like this whole like, damn. Like if I could go back, and this I swear by that, if I could go back, I would have never bought. I mean, I probably would have bought the Shelby. I would have never bought the R8. I would have never bought or rented out the M5 to be like my lease car. It is like a tax write-off car or whatever, but I would have just stayed with the Shelby and left it at that. Because again, like the Shelby effect wore off, and that's why I wanted a new car. And then that wore off. So it's like you have to be satisfied with what you have, bro. Like find something that you enjoy a little and just be satisfied. Know that it's not always like better on the other side, even though it might seem like it. And that goes the same way with money. Like everyone thinks, oh, money. Like the saying, money doesn't buy you happiness, but then everyone's like, oh, well, it solves a lot of problems, and it can make you happy because it can buy you a nice car, and a nice car might make you happy. It's temporary happiness, temporary fulfilling. But what my friend said to me, getting back to that, I know I got off track a little bit, was money only solves money problems. And I was like, wow, that like for some reason that like stuck with me hella because like it's so true. Money really only does solve money problems. There's nothing. You can have all the money in the world, all the like the nicest house in the world, but if your spirit and if your mental isn't right, no amount of money can fix that. Money can distract from the problems that you're having to make it feel like you're getting better, but money itself can't fix that. If I have all the money in the world, nice ass house, cars, whatever, but you're left and you're empty and you're alone, your spirit's down, your mental is down. When you go back home and lay down at night, you're left with that emptiness in your heart. And maybe the next day you're like, all right, I'm just going to go buy a new car. That might fulfill you for a few days. Or maybe I'm going to go out on this vacation. I'm going to go spend all this money out at the club and like go party and have fun. That might fulfill you for hours, maybe a day, maybe a week, maybe a month. But you will always be left like being like you wanting something more. And you think that more money is going to like solve it. Or more things might solve it or make you happy once you get more of these things. But bro, like I could tell you being on both sides of like that coin, that, and I can't really say for sure because I haven't experienced it, but I'm extremely positive that the most fulfilling thing in life obviously is God. But I think because I lack this, and I think this is why I've been extremely down bad and kind of depressed lately, is the fellowship, is friendships, that people that care for you, relationships, significant others that genuinely love you and care for you, and the moments and memories that you spend with your significant others, with your family, with your close friends. That fellowship and that union, I think, is what is life is all about. That love that you can share between human beings is something that connects us. And God created Adam and Eve. God didn't just create Adam. God created man to be in fellowship. God created man to have other people to communicate, to befriend, to be with. God did not create man to be alone. And I think that's why I've been struggling so much lately, because I feel like I don't have a group. I never had a group growing up, man. When I was in high school, like I always had these friend groups, but I never kind of, was associated with all their qualities all at once. So I always was kind of like the odd one out. I was always involved in the Xbox Live parties. I was always kind of every once in a while invited to like the events, but I wasn't in the main conversations. I wasn't the first friend they would think to invite to something. I was always kind of outside of that. And I can say this, bro, I had like three big friend groups, I would say, in high school. And I remember the first one was like my big Xbox group. And these guys were great. They were my best friends. They were all a year younger than me, I'm pretty sure, at the time. And then they started getting into like a lot of like marijuana stuff, weed, and all that. And so I kind of dipped from that group and went into a different group. And these guys were like all around my age. And the same thing kind of happened. We all used to go to the gym together. It was good. And then they all started falling into the whole like, marijuana drinking. And I never did this stuff when I was in high school. So I kind of left that group. And because I started becoming the outcast, it's like, you don't feel like you can be a part of it. If you're not drunk and you're around drunk people, you cannot have fun. If you're not high, you're around high people, you cannot have fun. It's just like no point in being there. I might as well just go home, go to the gym, or go play video games. It started getting to that point, so I felt like I was getting disconnected from these people who I saw as being like my best friends and whatnot. My fault. I think my audio cut out, but I was saying, yeah, the next group I had did the same thing, kind of fell apart. And a lot of it involved because these guys were getting into like worldly things. And I'm not saying I'm better than them, but at that time, bro, I had such a good connection with my parents that like I didn't want to disappoint them. So I never really got into the whole drinking, smoking thing. And then until I was 18, I was a big believer in like I had to kind of listen to what my parents said until I was 18. Once I'm 18, I can be on my own. Not be on my own, I'm still living with my dad, but like obeying their rules, even if I don't agree with them, and then kind of start going more in like on my own as I become an adult. So that's kind of how I was. I hope my kids are the same way with that and respect me enough to be able to be like that. But yeah, so I never had like a tight knit group best friend friendship, and that like killed me. And even looking back now, I can still look at these friend groups that I have, and they're still like all friends. The group they're like all still cool, and I'm like the only one who kind of ended up going out and doing his own thing. I mean, that ended up working out with me in a sense. I guess I became, and I'm not better than anybody. I'm trying to be humble when I say this, but I was able to find, I guess, my calling earlier than majority people, and kind of find like my livelihood from that, like sooner than others while they were still in school and whatnot. But it gets lonely as shit. It's like I remember times where I would like go on Xbox, see these different groups in like Xbox Live parties, and I would see everyone in the party together, and like I like just wouldn't join it. I wouldn't join it. I would just be like by myself, and that shit got depressing. It got like lonely, and I feel like that's the issue that I'm having still now. And since the social media stuff has started, in a way, it's kind of made it worse because I was already kind of a little odd one out, being like that guy who didn't do all that stuff, and then I became more of the odd one out when I guess social media popped off because it's hard, and I've gotten used multiple times. You get treated so differently when you have clout. I'm sure you guys like believe that and understand that. Like I can go somewhere, and if they find out that I have clout or followers, like whether it's like I don't know, like a restaurant, they might give me free appetizers, or waitress, they might give me special attention or something. Like, or you always get treated differently when people find out that you have like status. So that's always like weird to me. And the same thing when you try to make friends. It's like people will try and almost befriend you because they feel more valued if they're like friends with you. Like when I add back sometimes like people on Snapchat, they'll like screenshot me adding them back or whatever. And they'll be like people that I knew, or like they'll go back and screenshot old stuff to like say how they knew me or whatever. It's like that to me, that's like so weird because then it's like it makes me want to isolate even more because it's like how can I even relate to someone now? It's like if I go to a person who I guess doesn't have clout or social media, it's like I subconsciously like look for red flags and then maybe trying to like use me. I don't know. It's weird. It's like you always have to think about it because it's happened to me before. I've been used plenty of times by people who I thought were friends and they weren't. And so it makes it really hard. It makes it more, lonely. So again, I've been in that spot where like living here in Maryland, I'm like, I want to get out and like find like a way to have fellowship. Because like I said, the money doesn't mean shit. The success, none of that, like it does mean shit. I'm not saying it doesn't mean shit, but it doesn't mean what you think it's gonna mean when you get it. A lot of people who are like watching me, they're like, oh, he's got like the best life ever. I'll do anything to be in his position. And yeah, it's a blessing, and I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining at all. I'm just being extremely transparent and vulnerable with everybody, telling you exactly how it is. I'm not gonna like feed some bullshit to you, being like, yeah, this shit's fire, bro. This is lit. Like this is exactly what you want to do. I'm happy all the freaking time, as you see. Like other social media people on social media, they might give that vibe of like they're just happy all the time. Everything's good all the time. But maybe it's different for me, but I'm just being open and honest with you guys. So yeah, I've been thinking that I need more fellowship, and I think that is honestly the purpose to life. The most fulfilling thing in life is having a relationship with God, but being able to express that relationship with the people that you love and are comfortable with the most, being significant others, friends, family. And I just don't have that. And that shit gets isolating and lonely, bro. And that's what I was kind of talking to him about. And I was like, maybe, I've been debating on, moving out of Maryland once my lease is up. I think I'm going to send it down to Charlotte for like a week or two, hang out with some of the guys over at Elevation. Because my favorite church worldwide is Elevation Church. Stephen Furtick has helped me with a lot of stuff. And he might not be the most like diehard Christian preacher, pastor, but he does use biblical word. He uses the word. Yeah, he's put on a pedestal. He messes up sometimes. We're all human. Yeah, people sometimes shit on Steven, which is stupid. He helped me. He helped me become a Christian, and then I'm helping in a way others become a Christian and planting seeds. So something's being done right in some way. There's some good being done. So I want to go to Elevation because I kind of know some of the guys over there, and I feel like that'd be a good start or a good environment where I can be around people who could like, I don't know, help lift me up, just be there for me because I feel like I never have the people that are like there for me that I can really talk to. It's like everything in Maryland, it just seems like it's driven all around like performance, money, and all this stuff, and it's just not fulfilling, bro. It sucks. So I feel like I need to have an environment where I can kind of have that. So I think I'm gonna send it down there, see how I like it first, and then maybe look at some houses, whatnot. I'm still gonna be like building a crib here on the property that I'm at now, like building a crib here, but I think it would be nice to have like, you know, still have my home base here in Maryland, but have another place that I can go to spend majority of my time as I grow into my adulthood. Another thing, I mentioned this in my stream the other night, how like, and when I was in my Discord VC, how like it's like since I've started social media at 19, it's like my life almost took a pause. When I say took a pause, it's like I still feel like I'm 19, like 19, 20, because it's like it's been almost like so robotic. Like my life has been like a movie since then. It's been so different. It's like the old Alex before that feels like a completely different person that I have no idea who he is. It's like it's so weird to me. So I still feel like I'm that age and I'm still learning things, and I need to learn how to become an adult and like learn how to operate outside of social media. It's a really weird feeling and it's hard to explain, but I guess I'm trying my best to. But I feel like I don't know, I need to like learn to do that and like start trying to be on my own and stop like I don't know, honestly this one I'm just babbling, but the whole concept of this video, what I'm trying to tell you guys is that money does not buy happiness. And I don't care what you say, bro. You can try and say in the comments like, "Oh, I'll be so much happier." Yeah, okay. It helps to a point, I guess, because you know, stress doesn't make you happy. So if you're stressing about money and financial issues, then yeah, money might take away the stressor of it. But if you're chasing money because you think it's going to bring you happiness, it's going to bring you nice things, that's what I'm saying is not going to make you happy. Money maybe can ease burdens to a point, but after that point, it's more money, more problems, bro. I'm telling you, more money, more problems is true as shit I ever heard. Because it's like you worry about money, more things. You worry about more taxes, where you're going to invest your money, how the stock market's doing. Once you start making X amount of money, you want to continue to make X amount of money. And if you don't, then you get sad. It's like all these different things. It's like it becomes too much of a god in your life. And that's what I was talking to my friend about. Is he was like making sure like that the performance and that the money and that all those things, the status doesn't become the god of my life, to continue to kind of put God first, and he will provide the rest. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what I felt inclined to make this video today. And I want to do more of these where I have a thought in my head or I have something that I've been thinking about, and then I kind of just relay my thoughts about it openly, uncut, vulnerable to you guys, and then hoping that you guys might be able to take something away from it. Because I know I have a predominantly young audience, and I don't think there's enough positive speakers speaking stuff like this into society now. It's just so much like, bro, especially in the fitness industry, so much negativity, so much comparison. It's like, it's bro. I see someone now, like they'll post them benching their first time hitting 225 on TikTok. You go to the comments, it's people comparing themselves saying, "Oh, I did that when I was 16 or 17. I did that when I was this weight, this height." And it's like so much comparison, bro. Like even when I was in my Discord VC, I heard these guys, everyone just yapping how much they weighed, how tall they were. Like, why do you give a shit about someone that you don't even know? Like, why are you so worried about, if you spent that much effort worrying about them, worrying about yourself, maybe you would actually go somewhere in life and like be like the person, I don't know, the person you want to be. Like that baffles me. You're like, bro, people will say something positive to me. Or I'll see on like Instagram, someone saying something positive to another person, and they'll say like bro's dick riding or like bro's doing tricks on it. I'm like, but then when they talk shit, you'll never see someone commenting that. It's like people love to shit on people being positive, but positivity is what we need more of in this community. It's like when you see someone be positive to someone, they just say, "Oh, he's dick riding." Like, bro, no, he's just being positive. We need more of that. And then you make them scared to do it again because they don't want to get called a dick rider. Like, obviously. So these kids who are being positive or commenting something positive are afraid to do it again because they don't want someone to like say that to them. And like, I don't know how, it's just like the last like 2 years, this industry, everything has changed so much. And it's like toxic as hell, bro. It's like you have to be negative or say some like trolly negative shit to get love, and people love that. It'll be the top most comment versus the positive ones just get nothing. They get no love at all, and it's like it's weird, bro. And like people just, and that's why I feel like I need to speak positivity in these kids' lives, so they think this shit's like sweet. I think it's like cool to be like that. I'm like, bro, you're gonna be such a dickhead when you grow up. At one point you're gonna be unfulfilled. Like one point you'll be like, wow, I was such like a like idiot. Like why would I be like that? And I've been through that phase. I used to be hella trolly and whatnot too when I was younger. And I look back and I'm like, I saw first how bad that affected people when you actually could be mean or trolly whatever to them in a negative way. And then two, I just saw that this world needs more love. This world needs more positivity, needs more kindness. There's too much division, too much, like, bro, even for example, the shit going on in the Middle East right now with like Israel, it's like all I hear is people asking, Israel or Palestine, who are you supporting? Asking me to like say who I'm supporting. I support peace. I think like the Christians are trying, I guess, are supporting Israel. I don't know too much about it. All I care about is just peace. There doesn't need to be any killing. Or like I just hate the whole aspect of like people talking about like World War III. I'm like, there needs to just be more peace and love in the world. And then these y'all goofballs are falling for this whole thing that the media's trying to do of like dividing us. It's like they want us to pick a side because it's divide and conquer. That's why there's Republicans and Democrats. It's divide and conquer. They want to separate us and pin us head to head because then we're easier to control. When we're all together as one people and we're not fighting against each other, that's when really we have true power. And that's what the society's missing. It's missing that unity. It's missing the unity that God created us to have. And it's just always everyone butting heads, talking shit, butting heads. Like it's violent. And the world needs more peace. And the greatest peacemaker of all time is Jesus Christ. The people need more Jesus. I need more Jesus. We all do. We all need more Jesus because he's the one who is the Prince of Peace. He gives you the peace that passes understanding. And a lot of these people who are mean, angry, and hate and are so profound about being like having these aggressive points, as that I think they're lacking that peace within them, and they're projecting the instability and the irritability that they have on their own heart, and they don't notice that yet. But once you become, because they live in darkness, and once you let Jesus in your life, he brings you into the light and he exposes your dark deeds, and that's when he's able to reform you and change you. And that's the truest stuff. I was about to curse. I'm sorry. I'm still getting changed, obviously. But that's the truest thing ever, that men love darkness. And that's why this world's getting so bad. Men love the dark, and they hated the light. So they hated the idea of submitting to a creator. But when you accept Jesus and you're humble before him, you let him take you out of that darkness into the light, where all your darkness is kind of exposed to him, and it's made aware to you. A lot of us are not aware of our dark deeds because they're so dark within us, and they become almost like second nature. But when you let God shine light into it, you become aware of it, and you're like, that is not a good trait of mine. I'm going to change that. And that's what's happened with me. I mean, I used to be extremely toxic, and I used to compare myself to other people all the time, especially when I was in high school. I wanted to be the best all the time. I wanted to always be the best. And then now looking into it, I'm like, why would I ever do that? I should be the best version of myself, whatever God has called me to be, and just be fine and satisfied and have gratitude with that. So yeah, I know this was kind of like a little bit of a rant. There's different things we kind of talked about, but the whole concept, I guess I was trying to get out of this is, money don't buy happiness at a point. It won't fulfill you. Don't always chase that. I think that relationships and unity is the greatest thing that God has gifted us in society, and I lack it a lot, and I feel like that's why I've been going through it, and I need that. But I'm also speaking that to you guys, is to try and seek that, find like-minded individuals around you who are going to progress you and help provide for you and help you, and you do that for them too. It's a selfless act of respect and love for them. And then 3, bro, the world just needs more peace and love, bro. It's more peace and love, dude. There's too much toxicity, too much. We need to just come together, bro. There's too much bad shit going on. We got to be there for, our brothers and sisters, no matter what, whoever they may be. Stop asking me to pick a side on this conflict going overseas. Oh my God. God bless. I hope everyone overseas, I hope they're good. Good, Muslim or Christian or Jew, God protect them and keep them safe and finish this conflict so that we don't got no World War III coming. We can just chill. Everyone can just be on some chill time, because I don't know, whatever. Everyone's on some. It's like everyone just took trend and just wants World War III. Like, I don't understand it. It's like everyone just wants to eat each other. But yeah, that's it. Code Alex, Young LA, Alpha Lion. If you guys are going to go buy from my personal brand and support me directly, it means a lot. ElysiumAthletic.com. We just had a big sale. We still have some designs in stock for hoodies, t-shirts, compression shirts, oversized t-shirts that I mentioned, shorts, joggers, new hoodies coming out here soon, new hoodie jogger sets coming out, bunch of stuff, trying to blow that brand up. So really do appreciate you guys' love and support on that. Workout app dropping soon. It's not even just a workout app. It's going to have everything in it. Community, workout stuff. You can track your meals, track your programs. It's going to have programs in it. Me live streaming in it. It's going to have a live streaming platform. It's going to have a community part in it where you can kind of talk to people, whatnot, post your progress. I'm going to have different like exclusive content in there. And I'll probably end up putting the podcast and stuff in there as well, so you can just go there to watch it. And a bunch of other stuff. So I'm excited for that. That should be dropping within the week. So make sure you follow me on my Snapchat, Alex_Eubank, or my Instagram, to stay tuned to all that good stuff. But thank you guys. God bless each and every one of you. Until next time. Peace out.